Well, hello everyone. This is Mike Bass back again with your local weather forecast across the lower 48. Um, if you like my content, smash the like button and subscribe to my channel. And I'm still trying to reach that goal of 1,000 subscribers by February the 2nd. Okay, let's dive on into my forecast here. We're looking at the northeastern portion of the United States. We're looking at Maine. Still have winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings for a system there that will continue to lift northeast and away from the region there. And then we go down to around the New Jersey, Delaware, southeastern Pennsylvania, eastern Maryland areas. There's a coastal flood advisory in effect for coastal areas there for inland flooding. Now we're going to southern Georgia and northern and central Florida, where we have freeze warnings and frost advisories issued for these areas here. We have wind advisories over in Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri for winds over 40 miles per hour that can knock down trees, tree limbs, and knock out sporadic power outages. Red flag warning remains in effect for a portion of northern Texas. That will look out for possible wildfires in that vicinity. Okay, now we head into northern Michigan, where we have a winter weather advisory for a system there to produce a few inches of snow, and that will continue to move on into Canada. We have another little area of for Minnesota and South Dakota for more winter weather advisories that will continue to lift away up into Canada later on tonight and into Monday morning. We have a special weather statement plus fog advisories in effect for Montana, North Dakota, and northern Minnesota for fog that should be dissipating around mid to late morning on Monday. Winter storm watches are in effect for Kansas and Nebraska, and also northeastern Colorado. Winter storm watch will be upgraded to a winter storm warning because I expect a lot of snow in that vicinity. Okay, now over in the west coast we have a lot of winter weather advisories for Montana, Idaho, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado again, Nevada, and the mountains of California, and also Seattle, Washington, and also Oregon. In these areas here, expect a lot of snow as that major system that moved across Florida and dumped all the rain will continue to march eastward and produce a lot of snowfall over the northern plains all the way into the Ohio Valley over the coming week. Also, we have some wind advisories along the coast as another system approaches offshore and move onshore in California. That will produce a lot of rainfall in that vicinity. And also we have some also along the coastal areas there, some flood advisories and flood warnings for a river well above flood stage. Okay, we have high wind warnings also for northeast, for southern New Mexico and portion of Texas there. And just be on the lookout for possible power outages and tree damage. Okay, now we're about to look at the Columbia radar, the radar view now. Northeastern United States, that will continue to, that's that system I was telling you about where that winter storm warning and advisory there, the coastal flood advisory there, all of that will lift off to the northeast. We have periods of snow, rain, and thunderstorms over the central portion of the United States. And along the west coast, that's where that new system coming in, that will march across the area and produce severe weather from Texas to the Carolinas Wednesday through Thursday into early Friday morning. Now, here's a look at the Columbia radar for our local viewers here in South Carolina. All clear. All this here is just ground clutter, which you see across the area around the Columbia area and scattered through the state all of that is ground clutter. Okay, now here's a look at the Storm Prediction Center. We're fixing to go to days 4 through 8. Okay, here is day 4 through 8. We still have that 15% of slight risk for Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and southeastern Arkansas. That's on day 4. That's by Wednesday. Okay, day 5, probability too low, but I do expect this here to grow in intensity. It should be a slight risk from Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, portion of South Carolina, western North Carolina, portion of the mountains of western North Carolina, and portion of Tennessee. Should be in a slight risk, and a marginal risk should be outlined in the rest of the areas. And this includes Florida, northern Florida as well. Day 7 and 8, everything should be quiet, but I do see another system develop in the Gulf of Mexico that will move toward Louisiana and then straight up toward the Appalachian Mountains early next week, which may produce some severe weather across the southeast once again. And finally, we're going to be looking at the This is the 5-day rainfall total. You can see day 1, marginal risk over here in California with a slight risk in southwest California. Also over in the portions of Washington State. A little bit of marginal risk down here in Arizona. Day 2, the probability too low for it. Well, no marginal risk there in California and Arizona. Rest of the United States, all quiet so far. Day 3, probability too low, 5% anywhere across the board. Okay, now day 4, slight risk of excessive rainfall from Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, northwest Alabama, northern central Mississippi, northern Louisiana, and much of Arkansas. Slight risk for excessive rainfall. And we're looking at day 5, the probability too low, but anywhere along the east coast from North Virginia down to Florida, you could have some heavy rainfall to produce some localized flooding in certain areas. Okay, well, that's a wrap on this weather forecast for tonight. I hope everybody has a great evening, and we'll catch you back on the next one.